Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast. Prepare for the SML Podcast.
I'm just waiting for you two to finish.
Oh, I thought you were about to be like, I'm waiting for you two to just fuck. Which, no thanks.
No
thanks.
No. God, no. Because if hell froze over and that happened and there was somehow a spawn of you two.
If hell froze over, I'd fuck Satan first, okay?
If there was a spawn of you two.
Well, there couldn't be. I've had a vasectomy. I like.
That's why I said if
I'm
hell
shooting
froze.
blanks now.
If hell froze, I'd fuck Satan first, okay?
I mean, wouldn't we all, though? It's Satan.
I mean, fair. Have you seen the statue of Lucifer? Oh my god.
Which one?
The super sexy one.
Which one?
Oh, I don't remember who made it anymore, but this.
Are you talking about the one that it was 1400s and they're like, no, that's too sexy, and so he makes another one that was even sexier?
Yeah, and the brother came over and did one that was also really sexy. Yes, that one.
Yeah.
I want to know what the more sexy one looked like. That bothers me that we don't know what that looks like. I want to know so bad.
Well, no, I thought the more sexy one is the one we got.
No, the less sexy one is. The more sexy one, I guess, was destroyed or something. I don't know. We've never seen it, and I'm like, I really want to know what that looked like now.
I'll ruin my algorithm on Bing so I can collect those 3 points that I can put towards more Microsoft stuff. Sexy Satan statues, because there's more than one. So, here we go. Oh, damn, he can get it. It's from 1848. All right, let's see. 2 spirits, 1 sight. Okay, the reception. Blah, blah, blah.
Risky.
Himmelsflag. The heck? They're only showing one.
Well, yeah, they're only showing one because the only one we have is the one that still exists.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast, and I'm ending that conversation. I'm Joe. I'm your host. We have a full crew.
Oh, I found the other sexy Satan.
Jacob's here. Aki's here. Bri's here. Horror Acolyte is here.
Yes. That's how Aki and I talk to each other. Link me. All right, let's see.
Bri, how are you doing?
That's the sound that happens afterwards.
I'm a little stressed. Just, playing nursemaid and, dealing with all that stuff. It's been a rough day.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Bri.
It's all good.
I mean, is it though? Because, Aki and I are here.
Oh, I'm great. You're the problem.
All right, so Aki, that link that I sent you, the less sexy statue is...
Jesus Christ. Horror Acolyte, how are you doing tonight?
Excuse me, you're being rude. This devil is too sublime. That's the area that you want to click on.
Okay.
All right, no problem.
Okay,
all right, how are you doing, Horror Acolyte?
Not doing too bad. A little tired, but other than that, pretty good.
You're like, I regret becoming a co-host on this thing.
I don't know about that, no.
Welcome to Thursday.
Yeah.
He's like, no, thank you.
Can you believe it's only been a week since all the joy and festivities of 1000, and now we're doing whatever fuck Jacob and Aki are doing?
Yeah. Hey, we're talking about sexy Satan. It is what it is, okay? Leave me alone.
Normally, I would use that as the title of the show, but we have kids' games on this episode, so I can't.
Oh, so we can't call the episode Sexy Satan?
I literally just said those words.
Oh, well, I was just verifying that I heard correctly.
You're a wiener.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yuppers. So how's everybody's week been?
Stressful.
I got a new TV to put upstairs so that I can sit and actually play some games with a little less distraction, and my mom can watch her TV and a little less distraction, and she can just text me to come downstairs. So that's good progress.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Jacob, what about you? How's your week been?
I mean, it's been all right, I guess. Like, not a whole lot's been going on. It's mostly just working and, family stuff. So, woo.
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 I have a button for that one. Where is it? Can't find it. There's too many of them. Oh my God, there really are too many. Oh, there it is. Woo! There we go. That was totally worth it.
That was so worth it.
Listen here, fuck snort.
Don't give me any shit.
Fucking God!
Aki, how's your week been?
Stressful. Very stressful. That's what
Why is
happened. I'm getting stuff and don't have room for stuff, and a lot of games that take a lot of time, and just a lot of stress. I'm very easily stressed, okay? It is
Talking about Riz and Skibbity Toilet and all that.
That's what that does, okay.
Talking about Riz and Skibbity. Did you see we have a new shirt that says we're rizzing it up?
No, I have not.
AutoZone.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my house!
Wait, I thought that just said AutoZone.
It did.
I clicked a different one afterwards.
Yeah, we have a sound clip that says AutoZone.
Why?
Why not?
Why not?
Get in the zone.
I'm going to need you to fuck off, sir.
That was well
Fucking
played.
God!
Horror Acolyte, how's your week going?
Been pretty chill, mostly just gaming, usual, like nonstop.
Anything fun you're playing?
Pretty much still working on King Arthur. I've been really trying to plow through Lonely Mountain Downhill before it leaves Game Pass, but that game is really frustrating.
I have not played that one much. It looks really hard in the later stages.
Yeah, it's fun if you like bike physics for games like that, but yeah, some of the trials you have to do to like get all the achievements are pretty punishing. At least if you're not like an expert at the genre, which I am not. So, but it's fun though. It is fun.
Nice. So, anything anyone want to talk about before we dive into news, or we
How's
just go
your
through?
week, you dingus?
My week has been exhausting. Like, I don't know what I'm fighting. No food tastes right to me. I am exhausted all the time. I can't sleep enough. I feel like trash, and I don't know why. I tested for COVID. I'm fine. Don't have it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just run down. I'm a raggedy bitch.
I forgot one of my exciting things for this week.
Ooh, tell us, because it's more exciting than what I've got going on.
I have brand new fuzzy socks that look like cat paws.
Oh, whoa.
That sounds actually kind of cute.
We need a
They are
picture of
very
those.
cute. I will have to send you pictures, and they come in tuxedo cat, stripy tabby cat, and cow.
You are breaking up.
I'm not gonna lie.
That sounded like you said cock.
Cock.
It
Yes.
does.
Cat.
Oh man, if we're having
That was
internet issues
amazing.
tonight, this is going to be great.
I'm very excited about them.
Bri, babe.
Warm and
Bri, hun. You might need to leave and come back.
And it is entertaining to watch. Oh no! I have no idea.
This is beautiful. Yeah, Bri, I think you're having internet issues or something up there.
Yeah, it was definitely breaking up for a little bit there.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I'm not going to lie.
All right.
So,
Cat socks. They were cute.
cat socks. I don't even know where to go after that. I guess news. Fuck it. Let's go to news. Sniper Elite Resistance is going to launch January 30th.
I'm sad.
Right.
Why are you sad?
Oh.
Because I will probably be at my grandparents' house, which means I doubt I'll be able to even request that one, which really sucks ass, because I love those games.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
No Xbox Series X.
It's on Xbox One.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, hell yes, never mind. I'm
Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC January 30th.
I'm amazed games are still being made for the last gen consoles at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's getting kind of old at this point. We need to let them go and focus on new gen, but...
Hey, I'm happy. It means
not new gen. It was new gen 4 years ago.
I'm fine with this, because it just means that when I'm not home, I can still request games and stuff. So the more games that do this, the better for me.
I still think you should invest in a Series S for on the road. They're powerful little toys to have. They're fun.
Yep, I'm really enjoying mine.
Fair.
There's new free Powerwash DLC out today for Halloween.
Oh, nice. What is it?
It's a Halloween house.
Oh, just a creepy house? Okay.
Yeah, it's free. I didn't play it yet. It's just a house, though. I don't know anything more about it, but you know, it's not going to be like a massive 10-level pack or anything for free.
Okay. I was just wondering if it was like, you know, you always get the ones like the Shrek or the Moon Rover and all this other stuff. So I was wondering if it was something like that, or
just a Halloween style. I don't know if it's a haunted house or if it just has Halloween decorations, but
okay.
Power wash. So I'm going to guess you're not washing blood handprints or anything.
That'd actually be kind of
cool. And that would be cool, though. Yeah.
And this is why I like visceral cleanup or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
Of course.
I have all of them.
Carnage says no achievements in the free ones, though. So
yeah,
that sucks. Oh
well, it's still free, so enjoy.
Yeah.
The team behind Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown has been disbanded, and the game will not get a sequel due to low sales.
Jeez.
Yeah, so the best thing Ubisoft has pumped out in a long time. No,
what was the name of that game
didn't do
again?
well. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That's the 2D.
Weren't you the one who reviewed it?
I reviewed two Prince of Persia games at the same time. I don't know which one is which anymore.
Lost Crown is like the 2D Metroidvania style one.
Okay, that's a shame. I thought that one was really good. I really, really liked that one.
Yeah. A lot of people did, but it didn't sell well enough for Ubisoft to be happy, so...
That's something I've noticed. None of them are ever happy with any of their fucking sales. Why are they bothering to close things at that? I've not heard Ubisoft say, we're happy with these sales about a game in over a fucking decade. Or EA, or Bethesda, or anyone the fuck else for that matter. No one's ever happy with the amount of sales they get.
Corporate greed, yay!
Yay!
Yay. Thimber saying apparently some of them were moved to a Rayman remake. That's fun.
Okay.
Spider-Man 2 hitting PC January 30th.
Yay.
Sweet.
A lot of conversation on that one. Hi-Res Studios is shutting down both Realm Royale, Reforged, and Divine Knockout DKO on February 17th.
I reviewed
I remember when that came out. Yeah.
I reviewed it and it was like, okay.
They made everything in the game essentially free. I think it costs like 1 in-game currency, and they're giving away like 100 in-game currency daily as your daily login bonus. So you could get basically everything unlocked, everything for free until the game goes away on the 17th.
Well, that's a nice last hurrah for everybody who enjoys the game.
Yeah.
All 5 people.
Liked Realm Royale.
Did you?
Yeah, I played the shit out of that game when it first launched, and then after I got the 1K, I kind of died down on how much I was playing it, but it was actually pretty good.
I still miss Knockout City.
Mm-hmm.
That one was good.
That was good.
Yeah, that one was.
Oh, and it was different. That's what I missed the most about Knockout City. It was different and it stood out, but no one played it, so... Oh, well. EA Sports Rory McIlroy PGA Tour is shutting down servers January 16th.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. more servers going away, but that's an older game, so kind of understand that one. Studio Thunder Horse, the developers of Flynn, Son of Crimson, have shut down.
I don't even know what that was.
It was a decent game. It was published by, I think, Humble Bundle. Humble Games. Yeah.
More fun news. Assassin's Creed Shadows has had its collector's edition dropped in price by $50 amid the cancellation of the season pass and the early access period. Apparently, the first DLC is going to be free for everybody. The second one will be paid and included in the collector's edition. What are your thoughts? Do you think the game is in trouble?
Yeah.
I think the studios are in trouble, or, people making it.
Yeah. Collector's edition looks good, though.
Yeah.
And it's $50 cheaper. Woo!
Woo!
It's a few bucks cheaper for me in February.
Oh, hey, I finally have 1,000 or 100,000 points. Interesting.
For what?
For our chat.
Oh, and Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh. You're going to do what I think you're going to do, aren't you?
I'm debating so hard. I have no idea.
Well, if you're doing it, do it before reviews.
But it's more fun to make that happen during it.
Yeah, if that shows up during kids' reviews, I'm just refunding it, right? Because I can do that. I can refund and ignore.
I did not know you could do that. Also,
Yes.
I highly doubt there was for GoldenEye, so no Star Wars 2 or Star Wars Outlaws 2. No, and I don't think that was ever gonna get a sequel. It was okay. I reviewed it. It was okay.
I don't know, it's if it does well, it could. I don't know. Ubisoft likes putting out sequels, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked. Last bit of news I have: Black Myth Wukong has apparently been rated for the series by the ESRB, so Wukong might finally be coming to Xbox soon. A lot of people are speculating it might be revealed at the Game Awards as a shadow drop, or at least a hey, it's coming really soon kind of deal, like Baldur's Gate last year.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so Aki, what news do you have?
Well, PlayStation has seemingly been laughed out of court. They've been going against, I think it's the people who own Action Replay, I believe. Because they were suing because they believed that to use Action Replay, you were screwing with their code and stuff. So, which is why we don't see them anymore. And the courts seemingly have kind of laughed them out of court. So that's pretty awesome. We might see that stuff come back one day. So woohoo! Cool to that.
All right.
That's it. That's all my news. I have.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Horror Acolyte, give us some news. Do you have any news you want to talk about this week?
You already mentioned the studio closure I was going to comment on. To add to your Wukong thing, too, though, there is a physical release coming out for that one, for PS5 at least. And I think it was PM Studios was helping with the publishing for that, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's pretty pricey, though. It's like 80 or 90 Canadian for like full value for the game. So, well, that wasn't too surprising, I guess. But other than that, the only other bit of news I saw that was interesting was Balatro got another update with some more crossover stuff. Was Cyberpunk, Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire, and Stardew Valley. So that was really cool.
I'm going to tag in on this part. There's also Dave the Diver just got a crossover with it too. They got some new characters added into it for the Sea People. If you use one of the free codes that they put out in their little news things on Steam, they have that in a couple other games that they have tie-ins with starting soon. I don't remember what the others are off the top of my head because I forgot about it as fast as I looked at it. I wasn't planning on talking about that.
That's fair.
Give me a second. I will have that news up in just a moment. Okay. It is MXM Tune which is a singer somewhere. I have no idea. There's the Balatro one. And then there's also someone from Potion Craft. I don't know what that is either. We're getting a mushroomer from that who needs you to make a potion. You actually seem to play Balatro with the Balatro one, and you get a little concert with the singer one. So, yeah. And this is all free with the game. So
nice. Free updates are great.
Yeah, it gets a whole bunch of little ones like this. It's actually really cool. That being said, everyone, if you're at all interested in Dave the Diver, you might want to get it real soon, like super soon, because it has some DLCs for it, and one of them's about to be delisted from everywhere.
Ouch.
Yeah, the Godzilla pack. It's free if you get the game. All the DLC so far, except for one, has been free, but the Godzilla one is being removed. Probably the same thing has ended or something. So if you want it, you better buy the game and just claim that before it becomes something you can't get anymore.
Did they say when it's going away?
I just know November. I don't know exactly what day in November. So
okay.
Get that shit quick, yo. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've put about 10 hours in it in the past 2 weeks around my other games when I could. It's fun. I enjoy it.
November 23rd it looks to be. It was a 6-month licensing deal.
Nice. Well, right now there's also sales going on Steam. I don't know if Switch is also having them, but Humble, I think, had Humble or Fanatical, one or the other, had a sale for like 45% off or something to the game. And I'm sure Steam probably has a big sale on it for Halloween too, probably. So y'all can get it at a decent price, I'm sure. So yeah, go get that, guys. It's pretty fun. It's a cute little game.
Thimber's mentioning that there were remasters announced of Croc, Legend of Galos. Nice. Remember that one, kids?
I still have that game. I love that game.
And Yuka Replayly was announced for console. Croc is this year. Yuka Replayly is next year. Neither of them have concrete dates, though, so that's why I didn't really mention them.
I hate the name of Yuka
Replayly.
Yeah, I hate the name of that. It is so hard to pronounce.
Or any other news?
I think that was about it. I'm not sure if someone commented on it last episode, but there's also the new Vampire Survivors DLC with like a shit ton more Castlevania stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't wait for that. Is that out yet?
No, I think it's the 29th.
29th.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, just one more reason to get sucked back into that game, I guess.
No achievements for it, though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because they don't want any licensed stuff having achievements in case agreements go away.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
reasonable.
A smart thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Bri, what news?
Netflix had a studio called Blue, and they were working on a multi-platform AAA game for an original IP, and Netflix just shut them down before they could even announce what their game was.
Yeah, that sounds about right for Netflix.
They didn't even announce a fucking game and they got shut down.
Yep.
Oh my god, this industry sucks so much ass anymore. It's gross what it's becoming. Yay.
But that was all the news I had.
I mean, to be fair with the Netflix, they're barely the Netflix of Netflix anymore, so they really didn't belong in the video game industry in the first fucking place.
Yeah. Jacob, what you got?
All right. Well, Ubisoft is saying that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in development, and now it has a new creative director. So one day we'll get it. One day.
Sure.
Well, apparently some people that were working on another game have been moved over to work on it, so...
Probably Prince of Persia team.
Yeah.
Probably, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, that's probably exactly who it was. So, maybe in another 20 years, we might see some semblance of a game.
Well, speaking of in 20 years, we'll see some semblance of a game. Cloud Imperium, the makers of Star Citizen, have now said that Squadron 42 is now going to launch in 2026. And this time they're serious, guys.
Yeah, sure.
They're
that's
super
not
serial,
bullshit.
guys. Come on.
Super serial.
Meanwhile, they have $40,000 real money ships that you can buy to
to play around in Star Citizen.
The worst part is I'm not even
Love it.
exaggerating that much.
Yeah, no, not at all. And this is after they got, how many millions of dollars have they gotten? And I think their original goal was, 100,000 or something.
Oh. I think the original launch date was supposed to be 2016 or something like that, or... Yeah.
This game's never going to get finished because people keep giving these fuckers money. If they could just cut off the money, maybe they'd put something the fuck out. But as long as they keep getting money, they expand it.
Star Citizen is out.
Yeah, it's playable. The other human in my house plays it. He was just playing it the other day.
Yeah, I threw my $60 at it back at the original Kickstarter because I desperately wanted Chris Roberts to make some new Wing Commander-ish game. But I fully admit I'm never going to see that game ever because I don't do PC. So unless they decide to release it on Xbox one day, that's yeah. So I know Joe isn't a big fan of me reporting on this, but those day before devs, they canceled their Kickstarter.
Fuck them.
Because they only managed to raise $2,200.
See those guys, and I'm
Get the fuck out of my house!
But it's okay.
I hear about them, and I'm like,
gonna need you to fuck off, sir.
Joe, it's okay. It's okay because they canceled that Kickstarter
And immediately started another one.
and immediately announced a new game. So
and to that I say,
Go fuck yourself.
They are trying so hard, and no one trusts them. They are doomed.
didn't their Kickstarter make $2,000? And
$2,200. That's it.
That's it.
That is it.
Go away.
I've had paychecks bigger than that.
They're quickly becoming the Trump of game development, where I just want them to go away and disappear forever. I just never want to hear about them again.
One day, Joe. One day.
It'd be nice.
Minecraft is officially abandoning PC VR next year.
Ooh.
Okay.
As of March 2025, that's the last time that they're going to offer any kind of support for it. Any existing worlds will still be able to be used in non-VR devices, and whatever you purchased will still work. So there's that. Surgeon Studio, the folks who made Tales of Kenzera Zhao earlier this year, they've revealed their next game. It's going to be an Afro-futurist gothic horror RPG, currently known as Project Uso. And yeah, fingers crossed it comes out, because I really enjoyed their previous effort.
I hope it comes out, because didn't they lay off nearly everybody recently?
Not nearly everybody, but it was a decent amount. But yeah,
I hope it turns out well.
I do too. And last bit of news I have is some TV Watch.
We don't have a fucking button for. You're getting this one and dealing with it. It's Movie Watch. There.
Every time I hear that, it's so great.
So, God of War, the TV show, is now hitting the reset button. Sony Pictures and Amazon are going to hire an entirely new writer's room for the show, and also it's getting new producers, because they were not pleased with the scripts for the original first season. And also Yakuza comes out tomorrow. So, I mean, if you're listening to it when Joe posted, it's out now.
I'm actually really excited for that. That looks like
what's it on?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime, and Eurogamer gave it a 4 out of 5. They really enjoyed it. IGN gave it a 4 out of 10, which means that it's probably pretty good. So,
wait, what?
Oh yeah, IGN, like their reviews have been absolute trash, and like they now just shit on anything that's like remotely good. So,
Yay.
yeah, so Yakuza, I'm expecting that to be good because IGN said it sucked. And that, like, it's kind of weird because way back in the day, like IGN and I used to like pretty much agree on everything. And now it's just like, I don't know, like half the time their articles lead to 404 errors. So I don't know what the hell they're doing back there, but it's not actual journalism.
All I know is I'm super hyped for Majima because the guy they have playing him just looks perfect for that role. The one playing Kiryu is but the one playing Majima just chef's kiss. I am so excited to watch this.
But yeah, that's all I got.
That's everything?
That's everything.
All right. Are we diving into reviews then? Anything else anyone want to chat about?
Do it. Hopefully my internet's still working properly.
It is.
It is.
You didn't say cock this time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can if you want, but this time we'll probably like understand you.
No.
Yes.
Cock. First game to talk about tonight is Starship Troopers Extermination, developed by Offworld Industries, published by My Games, released October 11th on Series X and S and PS5 for $49.99. Starship Troopers Extermination is a fully licensed 16-player co-op FPS that puts you on the galactic front lines of the acclaimed sci-fi series. Squad up, grab your rifle, and do your part as an elite deep space vanguard trooper to take back the galaxy from the bug threat. Do you want to know more? I want to know about the fact that Injury just gifted Bri a sub.
Aw, thank you.
Woo!
Yay, thank you, Injury. Bri, since you're a new sub now, how about you tell us about Starship Troopers?
So yeah, do you want to know more?
I do.
Of course. This is a cooperative first-person shooter with base building elements. The opening menu asks you to join up now instead of just saying press any button to start the game, which is a nice touch. I think the game does a really good job of giving you the feeling of the movies, even in the menus. Instead of just being part of the United Citizen Federation, we are the elite deep space vanguard on the front line in the war against the bugs. There are Federal Network news clips and load screens that have splashes of things like propaganda-style posters with catchphrases like, "We'll squash them," or "It's us or them." Even the achievement list is full of quotes and familiar concepts from the movies. You have 6 loadout classes you can choose from: Guardian, Medic, Engineer, Ranger, Sniper, and Demolisher. Each has a different weapon and skill focus. You can customize the utility and perk section of your loadouts as you gain levels and unlock things. There's a tutorial on base building that shows you how to use your build, repair tool, and gives you some basic instructions on buttons for things like using your melee to move dead bugs out of the way, because the dead bugs stay there and the bodies pile up. I think I even saw the bugs using dead bodies like a ramp at one point.
Oh, nice.
They'll do that.
And then when you slash them, there's like bug guts that go everywhere and your screen turns green and you just see bits flying everywhere. It's great. You can create or join companies of up to 30 to coordinate play. There are community rewards for completing company operations in each season. Looks like a season might last around 3 months, and as the community does more missions, it unlocks more of the story from the Galactic Front, which is what's going on in the war effort. So it'll be exciting to see what happens with Season 2, but there's no, like, season task list to do or anything like that. It's just hey, are people playing the game? Let's give them a little bit more. There is a career leveling system for your trooper, and then levels for weapons and classes that as you're playing, you'll level that up and get different perks, and you get cosmetic items as you go, and military rank and title, of course. Let's see. There are main missions you can drop into with 4 to 16 players, which is an interesting number. You do this in a range of difficulty from easy to hard. So there's easy, normal, and hard, basically. Hard was not as hard as I thought it would be. And that's some part, I'm sure, due to the team I had. There are a few types of missions you can do. There's Advanced and Secure, Arc Defense, Horde, which has like 10 waves inside the base you build and maintain. There's a Hive Hunt, which was a 4-man mission where you go take out hives and the eggs. Each mission starts with a news clip announcement about your planet and your mission, like in the movie, which is pretty cool. The missions have several phases. As an example, in Advanced and Secure, you've got to clear the landing zone. You've got to complete objectives like capturing zones or mining ore, and then you've got to build a base. And then you have a little horde mode where you defend the Ark, which is gathering information for a period of time. And then you have a final phase where you have to survive running from the base and get to the extraction zone. And you have no respawns during that part. So if you fall down, you've got to have someone come back and pick you up through all the bugs, or that's it, you don't make it to the end mission. You can still get a victory for the team, but you get less XP if you don't survive, basically.
So it's like
there's a penalty.
Like Left 4 Dead, kind of.
Yeah, so on the XP screen, you get XP for doing things like assisting in building. There's varying different categories. You get points for every kill you get and what type of kill you get. So you get a bigger bug and you get the final shot, you get more points. There are some modes where the points matter more than others, but they all add up to your XP. So you'll see on your final screen like what you got the most points for, what you got them in these different categories, and you can get a good amount of XP for just participating. And then the more points you get, the more XP you get, which is pretty cool. You can't just you can just go in and not be part of the team, but the better you do for your team, for yourself, the more XP you get, the more rank you get, and so on. There is also a solo tutorial campaign following General Johnny Rico, who is voiced by Casper Van Dien himself.
Nice.
You're part of Special Operations Group doing missions to prove yourself to Rico and some other new recruits that form your support team. They're like an AI team. Do you want to buy more? There are $10 DLC skin packs available.
Do they do anything or just skins?
No, just skins.
All right.
Unless you change some settings or mute your mic, there are open team channels of voice communications once you're in a mission. It's actually nice to be able to call out and request stims and ammo drops and like, hey, no, really, could someone please pick me up? I'm right here. There's an achievement for saluting the dead like a couple of times. So you can you can just troll people and not pick them up and just salute their dead body. You know, that's a thing. Yeah. Let's see. Watching others sometimes is kind of comical. They look like they're running too fast sometimes with sticks up their ass. The bug bodies can kind of glitch into the environment or get stuck on things. There was an update the other day, and I had a horde mode where the bugs never showed, which was like the easiest mission I ever did. But don't get all the points because there's no bugs to kill. But it was still nice to get an easy victory. You can treat this like a straight shooter, but it's not. You have to do your part. You have to work as a team, perform several kinds of tasks like repairing or carrying ore, shooting bugs. If you like the shooting bugs, you just jump into a horde mode. If you like building, do the arc defense, and Advanced and Secure is a good balance of tasks. I spent most of my time in Advanced and Secure. That's really where you have like the most mission options, I guess, is that blend. It took me a while to get the hang of building more than dropping some ammo boxes. I learned quickly to identify areas I could repair and extra places I could help, but I'm not great at the building. I'm really more there to shoot things.
That's fair.
Yeah, I learned a lot in the field by doing more than anything the tutorials really prepared me for. Like how to use healing stims was totally not something I learned that by accident. I was like picking them up and I wasn't healing, and finally I accidentally hit something on the D-pad. And I was like, oh, and then it gave me instructions on what button to press. But yeah, I was totally lost. I managed fairly early on to get matched with a full team of what sounded like some more experienced players, and I got my Do You Want to Live Forever achievement for surviving a mission on hard. That was exciting.
Very cool.
I made it all. To get the difficulty achievements, you can't just get a team victory. You have to actually survive. So I was excited about that one. But yeah, mostly I'm having a blast with the game, even though the open mics make me nervous. So far, I've had nothing but pleasant mission-focused communications on comms with others. It does feature cross-play, but not cross-platform progression, which to me seems reasonable. And if you have 16 people, you can do a custom lobby. And essentially, you get whatever mission you want together. Matchmaking seems to work pretty easy. I would say one specific thing on Xbox, it does not like quick resume at all.
Yeah, a lot of online games don't.
Yeah, it doesn't even like it when you're sitting on the menu. It's like, nope. I had some choppy performance issues, some lighting glitches, some rubber banding. I'm also on Wi-Fi instead of hardwired, so I'm not sure how much of that is me. I didn't have any crashes or anything crazy. The recoil on the guns I was using was a bit much. The saw climbs the wall. You have to burst fire to keep a handle on it. It would be nice if there was an easier way to stay in the same lobby when you end up with a good team on an op. That would be like an improvement I would find a way to implement into the game. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it.
Cool. Well, it clocks in at $49.99. What are your thoughts on Starship Troopers Extermination? And I just looked this up. It's actually published by Knight's Peak, which is a division of My Games. I had no idea Knight's Peak existed before, 3 minutes ago. I double-checked on everything. And so, yeah.
But yeah, overall, I would say it's a buy it. There's strategy involved. There's more to do than just shoot. It really puts you right in the middle of the action, gives you the vibe of the movies with ease. The missions were a really good length where I felt like I was entertained, but I wasn't going to be stuck there forever. Because, who wants to live forever?
I mean, the Highlander does.
Well, that's a totally different style thing.
Yeah. Breaking Ben did a good cover of that song, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good stuff. Next game, Since Memories Off the Starry Sky, developed by Mages, published by PQube, released October 23rd, Switch and Steam for $39.99. All the story of Junior, lost in his own world but soft-hearted and ready to help those in need. His close friends try to keep him grounded following the tragic loss of his brother. Trying to move on from his grief, focusing on his studies and his work, he loses himself in trying to help others. Aki, tell us about your time with Since Memories Off the Starry Sky.
Okay, so first things first, this is apparently part of an entire series of games. So play those first.
Is it?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought this was just a standalone game. Is it a series just called Since Memories?
I believe so. I think each one has a different subtitle after it. I don't think it's necessary to play them. However, this game has things that seem to reference back to prior games that they don't explain because it's kind of expected that you've probably played them. They're not, super major things, but it does kind of leave things a little confusing every now and then because they'll reference to something. You're like, what the fuck's that? And so it kind of goes nowhere at that point because you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's kind of like an inside joke every now and then, except for they're not jokes, obviously. But that's how it feels as an outsider who hasn't played them. It's like, what's that? But no, I want to understand. And then they don't let you understand. It makes me sad. But anyways, you play as Junior, a guy who I believe is in university and working at his family's company that seems to be a general store. And when I mean general store, I mean they do literally everything from, going to people's houses and cleaning them to being extra protection for like bands and stuff to delivering food products and shit. They do literally everything. They'll probably build you a fucking spaceship. Who knows? And so he's doing that, working as just a standard employee there, as well as going to university, I believe. I don't think he's in high school anyways. And it's been about a year since a car crash that involved you and your brother happened, and he kicked the bucket, something fierce, and it was very traumatic for you. And you're starting to have nightmares and stuff every time you go to sleep that involve this trauma. And you get to interact with one of a handful of girls throughout the game, and you get to choose your route of which girl you want to romance. And basically, you're helping them deal with, standard whatever their bullshit is, standard realistic stuff. And they're trying to help you, deal with this trauma that you're still going through while trying to help you figure out what all exactly happened that night to cause everything to fall to shit, as it were. So this is a nice slice of life. So you're not getting this isn't a super, mystery, or there's no aliens or monsters or anything in this. This is just, normal people dealing with normal people shit. So that's pretty nice. You don't see a lot of these if you're me, because I usually play the more fantastical ones. So this was a nice little palate cleanser, I guess I'll call it, for all the other weird shit that I play all the time. There is some drawbacks to this game, not this style of game, but this one specifically. The routing for the girls is very weird. Usually for games that where you can romance different people, you will often be introduced to all the girls at the same time, and then you kind of pick a route and you go that route with that girl, and you don't get the other ones. Or you'll have a prologue that'll introduce you to all the girls, and then you very quickly choose a girl or choose a couple girls and then choose between those a little later on. This one has you choosing a route with one girl, and then halfway through it might introduce you to another girl that you can start pursuing at that point. Instead of having them all at the beginning, they're interspersed between other people's routes, which is very weird. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, I know exactly how I feel about that personally. It drives me crazy. But I'm very used to the everyone's here thing. I like that method more, just because it's what I'm used to. Having, starting with one girl and then being able to immediately pivot to another girl and then doing the same to her, it's weird. Because it kind of just feels like every girl ends up getting less and less time to grow as a character and less time for you to get invested in them, which this game has a problem with. And I think that is very specifically why. All the girls that you get introduced to the beginning, I feel like they're more they're more in-depth characters, I feel. Some of them not so much, but most of the earlier they show up, the more in-depth they are, because you get to spend more and more time with them. Not that the other girls are necessarily bad, but they're just not quite as good. Another thing that you should be aware of is this is a very slow burn game, which is pretty typical for a lot of the slice of life types, because it's just a normal daily life. So it may be kind of boring for some people, but they always start off very slowly. Some of them ramp up a little further on. I didn't feel like this one did particularly much, but I don't mind a slow burn type of game. I've played a few of them. They're not bad. You just kind of have to be in the mood for it, in my opinion. But yeah, it was very weird just having all the fragments that I didn't understand clearly about prior games. But yeah, it's a pretty simple game. All of the characters are fully voice acted, which was really nice. I don't remember if Junya is or not. I don't think he is, but now I'm not 100% sure anymore. I might just be crazy. Everyone else is fully voice acted, though, at least. So
you might be crazy there, but are you crazy about the game?
Never do that again. Go ahead and ask your question properly, because I'm not going to answer it otherwise.
It's $39.99. What is your verdict on Since Memories Off the Starry Sky?
I think if you've been playing these games and you actually have the knowledge of the prior games, this is definitely totally for you. If you like slice of life ones, I would probably suggest playing the earlier games first, because this apparently ruins the endings of some of them and gives some spoilers of other parts of other ones as well. So I would suggest playing those first. If you're not into slice of life, this game is slow enough, you're not going to be a fan of it. So if you like slice of life, I think this is totally worth buying. If you're not, stay away from this. This definitely isn't going to be for you.
Cool, sounds good. Next up, Killing Time Resurrected. Developed by Nightdive Studios, published by Nightdive Studios and Ziggurat. Released October 17th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, PC for $24.99. Journey into a mansion on the island of Mantinicus, I think, where you'll arrive to find the mansion full of hellacious demon creatures. Solve deadly puzzles, uncover the secrets behind a famous mystery, and discover an ancient artifact from the Pharaoh Ramses if you can live long enough to find it. Horror Acolyte, you covered this one. Tell us about it. What is Killing Time Resurrected?
Righty. So Killing Time is a retro first-person shooter, or boomer shooter as they're now called, that originally released in 1995 on the Panasonic 3DO. And this version released now is an updated version by Nightdive Studios that polishes a lot of the unideal aspects of the original. So the game starts out with a cutscene, and you talk about to your professor of Egyptology that you once knew called Dr. Hargrove, who mentions these trips that he took to Northern Africa in the 1930s, where he was searching for this mystical water clock relic that essentially had the power to grant eternal life. And he claimed he found it, but after the trip, he was visited by Tess Conway, who was the person that put him on this expedition, and after this meeting with her, it apparently disappeared, and he didn't know quite where it went. So he tried to pick up the trail of where the artifact had gone to, but he kind of lost it, and eventually thought it made its way to Tess's state, which was on an island off the coast of Maine called Mantinicus, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out either.
Yeah, I think it's Mantinicus. So yeah, this is off the coast of Maine, and so yeah, the story starts here, and you make your way to this island that's owned by Test, and this other kind of partner she had named Duncan DeVries, who was a smuggler, and seemingly all the people on this island disappeared in 1932 on the night of the summer solstice, and no one had heard from them since. And I don't know if you're the first person going to this island since then, but anyway, so yeah, you go to this island alone, and as soon as you get there, your watch mysteriously stops working, which is very odd.
Dun, dun, dun.
Killing time. No. So you get off the boat at the docks, and one of the first things you see is this kind of ghost-like apparition in the distance, and it's a apparition of Tess that says "help me," and as you get closer to this apparition, it triggers this live action cutscene in the game, showing the characters talking like in real time in the area you're currently in, like over top the game visuals, and you can even like move around while this is happening. And so you have these ghostly apparitions on the screen. For these in-game cutscenes, they did change them a little bit from the original version of the game. They added like this kind of blue ghostly glow to the characters to make them a little more ghost-like in appearance, whereas the regular cutscenes I think were done in just like regular live-action film. So one of the first cutscenes you run into is this one with Duncan, and he's talking to one of his guards, and the guard mentions that the storeroom's full, so they have to like hide all these weapons and supplies stashed around the estate, which I thought was kind of funny because usually in boomer shooters you just like see weapons and stuff like lying around for no reason, but in this game they kind of explain a little bit as to why there's stuff stored around. That's kind of neat.
Also, the fact that Trash Rando just subbed. Trash Rando, thank you so much for the sub. Enjoy the emotes, enjoy the kitty cats. Thank you for your support, and thank you for hanging out. But yeah, as you were saying.
So yeah, there's ammo still around the place. Apparently, the Duncan's also trying to like scheme his way into like gaining more power over this island that Tess owns. So you start the game with a handful, actually a singular weapon. You start with a pistol, but quickly come across a handful of other weapons you get to switch between. There's a crowbar, a shotgun, and a Tommy gun. And then not too far into the state here, you see another cutscene that kind of explains the current happenings. And Tess says that her soul has been split into these fragments that need to be collected. I'm not sure exactly why, if it's like to free her or whatnot, but you're taking her word at kind of face value here. And so your main quest begins searching for these Egyptian relics that each contain a piece of Tess's spirit. So unlike a lot of mission-based boomer shooters, this one plays out more of like an adventure game. So besides looking for the relics, you're also going to need to find colored keys to open specific locked doors around the estate. The main mansion is located in the front/center of the island and contains numerous locked doors. So there'll be like a bit of traveling back and forth between the different areas in the mansion as you explore more of the island and find these keys. You travel to like a ton of different structures. There's the mausoleum, hunter's cabin, a sewer section, even an Egyptian temple. Each of these areas has a pretty distinct feel and selection of music that goes along with them, especially like the creepy atmosphere that's done in a few of the more open areas, like semi-wooded sections of the game. Has this really like ominous undertone, just like waiting for enemies to pop out at you in the dark. So on your main HUD in this, you'll see your life percentage, also an ammo amount for your current gun that also has this green bar underneath dictating how much ammo you have in totality for that particular gun. So you'll be able to see how close you are to being full or not. There's also these miniature slots on the grid that show how many keys and Egyptian relics you've collected. And another really cool thing about this is each of these Egyptian relics that you collect also gives you a power with limited uses, which is kind of unlike any of the boomer shooters that I've really played. So each of these powers you control when they get used, and they give you bonuses like 200% health, like automatically, brief moments of invulnerability, or like increased damage output. And if you're lucky enough to find them, there's also a chance to recharge these abilities with a couple of the rare items found around the island. I think there's only 2, at least that I found. And so you can be strategic with their uses if you want to use them and like effectively throughout the game. You don't want to use all these abilities like right in one go kind of thing. Or you can be like me and just go through most of the game without knowing that you even have powers and stumble over the recharge artifact without having used any of your stuff. I didn't even learn about them till like the last quarter of the game, I think. I was like, what does this do? So yeah, luckily you can manually save the game at any time you want, so you can like save scum the shit out of this game if you really want to. But yeah, this was actually one of the few instances in the game where I found I didn't really need to do that a lot compared to like most games, like any Bethesda title where I'm saving like every 5 seconds kind of thing. But yeah, so aside from those, you also find health pickups. Enemies will drop these either red orbs or blue orbs, and there's actually red orbs that are damage pickups. So if you take them, you'll get like 20% deducted from your life, which was interesting. I haven't seen many games that have like a negative pickup for stuff like that. Yeah, there is an option in the game to turn those off if you want to. So if you don't have to deal with that bullshit, usually it's not a big deal. They're like easy to bypass unless you're using the crowbar. If you're like at close range, you can accidentally kind of like push forward and pick them up, and that happened to me a couple times. So yeah, it's kind of random whether a red or blue orb drops to varying frequencies, and there's also static blue and yellow orbs are scattered throughout the area that restore your life points. Along with those, you find power-ups like Scarab Armor that give you increased defense for a certain period of time. And if you're familiar with Doom, there's also this item called the Ankh of Ramses that counts as a single-use carry weapon, and essentially acts as the BFG of this game, just like obliterates everything in the vicinity around you. And now on to my favorite part of the game, the enemies. So all the enemies in this game are 2D pixelated enemies rotating their image to face you as you move around them in 3D. Most of the humanoid enemies in the game are created from live action animated models, so essentially real people and actors playing them. The first ones you see is this gangster enemy that has like a Tommy gun, and he's like waving his Tommy gun as you see the bullet flashes coming from the gun. Sound effects as you shoot him, he's like ow, ow, and stuff like that. And then as he dies, you like see blind fire of him firing. He's like tilting his gun and falls to his death. You'll come across a bunch of melee-focused enemies like gardeners that try to cut you with their gardening shears, or larger ghoul-type enemies that try to maul you over. There's also projectile-based enemies like demon heads and giant ants that chuck fireballs. You'll also run into undead chefs that toss butchers' cleavers at you. And one of my all-time favorite enemies in a boomer shooter, or possibly in almost any game that I played, is this evil clown enemy that you run into. And you only run into them in the mansion, and they essentially like walk with this kind of like hunched over stance, and you'll see like these nose honk sounds that trigger every now and then. And as they're like kind of slouching their way towards you, they're like wiggling their fingers at you in these white gloves. And the character will say, "Tickle, tickle." It is probably like one of the greatest things ever. I absolutely loved it.
That's horrifying.
If you're afraid of clowns, it would probably be like scary as shit. So overall, though, the game isn't actually particularly scary. Like a little ominous in certain sections, but other than like a couple surprise enemies, yeah, I wouldn't say it's super scary by any means. But yeah, if you're afraid of clowns, that clown will scare the shit out of you. And there's tons of them. So also be warned that if you don't like killing dogs or zombie ducks, you will kill a few of those in this game. Or maybe if you want to, I guess you could try and avoid them, but the dogs probably won't be keen to that. Combat in this game is very fast-paced, like most boomer shooters. It's going to be a lot of strafing behind walls to avoid projectiles, and like kind of weaving in and out of combat to shoot enemies. The motion and general feel for the combat in this game are pretty good for a game of this genre. I'm not sure if they kept the kind of same motion controls as the original title, since I never played the original. But yeah, it felt really good in this build of the game. There's a good number of open areas along with tight spaces and enemies hidden behind alcoves and corners. But be wary about rushing into the more tightly confined areas because it is easy to get swarmed in a few of the instances. I think I only died like 3 times in the game, and most of those were from running into spaces that where I shouldn't have ran into right away. So yeah, there's also other typical boomer shooter interactions, like you click on certain switches, they'll open like hidden areas up, and then there'll be like a handful of enemies that kind of like pop out and kind of try to ambush you. There's also this feature called Classic Weapon Balance, and I'm not sure exactly what it does, but it makes me think that the enemy health either goes up or your damage output from the weapons you have is more in line with the original build of the game. I'm not sure if that's to do with like hit detection or how that worked exactly, but turning this feature on makes the enemies harder to kill. So you're looking at like switching from like 1 shot to like 3 shots for some of the enemies.
Yeah.
So I was playing this game on hard mode, and that's the middle of the difficulties. There was 2 more difficulties above that. Fortunately, even on hard, the game wasn't like particularly challenging. So if you want a challenging experience, you're definitely going to want to play on one of the 2 higher difficulties. But you are going to spend a shit ton of ammo. So like I was emptying like half my ammo allotments for guns within like a minute or so in a lot of the instances when there was like swarms of enemies. But there is ammo like literally, I shouldn't say literally, but almost everywhere in this map. You'll like find little pieces here and there that give you like 3 shells or like 2 light rounds for your like Tommy gun. But you still got to be a little sparing with that, I guess, in a sense, as long as you're not like missing a ton of your shots, I guess. But yeah, lots of ammo. Along with like ammo stash, you'll find like a huge bulk sort of quarantine of ammo stored away, because Duncan was a gun smuggler, so I guess that's why there's those huge stashes hidden away. But yeah, I like the. Sorry, lost track where I was. Yeah, you also find more ghostly cutscenes around the island that add a bit more context to the story. Most of it doesn't deviate too much from the core themes of the game, with like Tess trying to gain immortality using this mystical Egyptian water clock, and then Duncan working in secret to trying to take control of Tess's wealth and power. And other than that, this game also comes with a ton of accessibility features. Some of them include like switching between high and low resolution textures for the game. So if you want to play it more in line with like the original graphical style or the newer one. I'm not sure if this is able to switch the cutscenes, though, as I mentioned. I couldn't find an option to switch it back to just the originals. There's also, a motion sensor controls, which is really funny because when I started out the game, there was this like sway to my character that kept happening, and I'm like, why the hell do they keep like moving like from the center of the screen where the crosshair would be? And I was getting kind of frustrated with it until I looked at the options, and I noticed like motion controls were on. So yeah, you can choose to have those on, and then like if you're tilting your controller up, the gun and the screen will point upwards and vice versa for down. So
PlayStation,
if you want to for PlayStation,
right.
Yeah. I never played a game with the motion sensor.
Platform we had this on. So.
Yeah, that wouldn't be on Xbox, but for PlayStation, if you want to play with the motion sensor controls, it's kind of neat. I didn't give those a go really for this one, but that is an option. There's also a ton of additional promo content, so you get a jukebox with all the tracks of the game, images of promo material from the game from back in the day. All the in-game Coast cutscenes can be viewed, along with the original versions of them, so not just the edited ones. There's also a script for all the ghost dialogue you would hear throughout the game. Also, the best one of the better ones is like the pictures of the actors behind the scenes for all the enemy models, which I thought was kind of cool. And if you're having difficulty with this title, which based on how hard it was on hard mode, I don't think it's going to be too challenging on easy, but there are cheats you can use that give you like God mode and a couple other features. These do void trophies though, and I'm assuming by proxy achievements as well.
Ooh.
So I personally think that's fair, but anyway, no cheats. There was also a couple of accessibility options that didn't void that though, like that classic mode I was just mentioning a while back with the guns dealing more damage. Essentially, that wasn't a cheat. That was just a plain accessibility feature, along with an auto aim option too, which I kept off most of the game. But yeah, nice. So those ones don't count as cheating.
Well, we got to talk price on this one. It clocks in at $24.99. Give us your thoughts on that.
So this is one of my all-time expected releases for this year. I had originally wanted to buy this game on the 3DO and just buy the console to play this one specific game, and this game didn't disappoint. I thought this Nightdive build of the game was fantastic. Again, I haven't played the original, so I'm not sure how much it varies exactly, but I know Nightdive tries to be pretty faithful with a lot of their remakes. So with the amount of added content in this one, if you're a fan of boomer shooters or first-person shooters, and aren't opposed to ones with like I said, an adventure style of gameplay, I think this is absolutely a buy it. I'll be 100% buying a physical copy of this when they release one.
Very cool. All right, well, that is it for you. Are you going to stick around, or are you heading out?
Yeah, I'll be lurking here in the shadows.
Sounds good, because we got more to go. Next game is Purpose 1951, developed by Tonguç, Bodur, and eastasiasoft, published by eastasiasoft, released October 16th, Series X and S and PS5 for $6.99. Between spoken words and clues found along the way, you'll piece together one man's history as it's entangled with others and seek an end, whether it be hopeful redemption or saddening loss. Jacob, what is Purpose 1951?
So Purpose 1951 is a walking simulator, and we're told the story of this doctor, he might be a surgeon, post-World War II, and pretty much he's just reminiscing about his life after the war, and like all of the experiences that he had, and all of the death that he's reflecting on towards the end of his life. And you're just walking through this. Well, you're walking through multiple different areas. Sometimes it's a forest. Sometimes it's like a town. Other times it's like a lake that you're like walking beside as you pretty much just hear his story. And you have to find these little boxes that are spread throughout the area. And doing so will pop an achievement. So hooray for you, achievement hunters. But it's usually necessary to unlock the next part, because game will kind of like hide where you're supposed to go, and then you find the box, and then like you start walking around more, and then you're like, oh wait, there's now an entrance here. I didn't realize that. At the same time, I might have just missed all of that kind of stuff. I'm not totally sure, but I think it actually does appear that way. Frequently, I would get lost in this game because it's a really beautiful place to look at. And this is the first one of this dev that I've played of their games. And yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, it's only about...
Bodur makes really beautiful games.
Yeah, like it's like they're very picturesque. Each one, like it always looks like it's a painting. Like you're just standing in the middle of a painting. And it's just... Sometimes you can just watch the world go by and just like watch the clouds, like, you know... move across the landscape, and it's really nice to just watch. I will say that at some points it was a little difficult to kind of like control where I was going, or like trying to figure out how I was going, especially when you're on a bike. And it's not like you could fall off or anything like that, but it's a game that definitely requires you to use both the left and right joysticks. I figured a lot of the times I play games with my wife on the couch, and like I'll have one of my arms around her and I'll use the other hand to move the controller. This is not a game that you could do that with, unfortunately. So, like pretty much I just had to like, all right, hon, go to the other end of the couch. I have to like play this.
Sorry, hon, get away from me.
Yeah, I've got games to play. But yeah, it was an interesting introspective story, and it's really beautiful to look at. Yeah, like if you've got an hour to spend, I'd recommend checking it out.
That's a short one.
It is, yeah.
Right, well, clock's in at $6.99. Is it worth it?
Yeah, I think so. If you're, I mean, you know, if you're expecting like Call of Duty, then no. But like if you're willing to play like an artistic game, then yeah, this is definitely worth your time.
If you're expecting Call of Duty, you're paying 10 times the price too. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
But
any other thoughts?
Not really. I mean, the motion, like, you know, as I said, like motion controls were fine.
Motion
like it's
controls?
not like I got not motion controls. I meant like just like moving around. Like yeah, that would be something.
You don't have a PS5, Jacob. What the hell?
As far as you know, no, I don't know what I'd do with a PS5. Yeah, but I enjoyed it.
Turn it on. That's just me.
That's a good start.
Yeah, but there's no games for the PS5, so you know.
Astrobot's pre-installed. So, yeah, there are.
Ooh.
And it's a really good game.
I'm always looking for Call of Duty in my walking sims.
You might be. You might be. I don't know. Like, I was kind of expecting it to, like, not exactly like Call of Duty, like, oh, like, now I'm hunting Nazis. Like, but I wasn't sure, like, if, like, he was going to be having, like, flashbacks and, like, you know, all of a sudden, like he's having like World War II flashbacks and like everything's going to shit. But yeah, it was a nice introspective story.
Cool. All right. Well, speaking of walking and shooting, the next game is Squirrel with a Gun, developed by DD Creations, published by Maximum Entertainment, released October 15th on Series X and S and PS5 for $19.99. Squirrel Meet Gun is the neighborhood's most obnoxious rodent, develop a knack and a love for crime and mayhem in pursuit of golden acorns. In this nutty sandbox shooter and puzzle platformer, fight tooth, claw, and gun to escape a secret underground facility and defeat the agents. Bri Aki covered this one a couple of weeks ago and told us about the basics of it. It just hit console. What are your thoughts on Squirrel with a Gun now that you've played it on Xbox?
So the game opens up to a title screen with a song reminiscent of a James Bond movie about a squirrel with a gun, and I'm instantly in love with the idea of this game. Our squirrel hero is on the roof of this top secret research facility. He sees some shiny prototype that looks like an acorn. So, of course, he jumps and presses a bunch of buttons. By jumping on them or throwing things, he goes in and he swallows this giant acorn whole. Alarms go off. Security agent with a gun comes in and trips, and his gun falls out of his holster and lands right in front of our hero, who, having swallowed the mysterious device, has this eureka moment and picks up the gun and starts firing. And that's the general premise in the beginning. Then you go through this whole tutorial, like jumping, collecting acorns, which are all around. They fall from agents when you kill them, firing at the door locks, jumping on poles. It gives you extra incentive to do well. The facility base floor is filled with lava as an extra incentive. You have to avoid it or it's game over. You get an on nuts screen and back to the last checkpoint. Once you get out of the secret facility, the game opens up into a sandbox playground, not unlike something like Goat Simulator. There are golden acorns and costumes to find while doing goofy things. There's a house where you play floor is lava. This time you're jumping on furniture. When you get to the top, there are some things to shoot to get some other acorns. You get one for firing a propane tank at a barbecue and setting it on fire, and the people nearby, run screaming. There's another rewarded for sneaking into a mine-laden fenced area with a gun-toting lunatic firing at you. You just need to show him who to really fear. There was one normal guy in a house. You can crawl up his back and do a neck-breaking takedown that actually fixes his neck problem, and you get the chiropractor acorn. So it's a very random game.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, while you're doing all this, there are agents looking out for you that you'll need to take out. Thankfully, you can sneak up on a lot of them and take them down if you're in need of weaponry. There's also places you can spend acorns, the regular acorns that you earn while running around, where you can buy a fully loaded weapon, cars, and more. Acorns also heal you and help you resurrect. Don't forget to save at your squirrel feeders. Also gives you enough nuts to heal up and lock in your hard work while you're causing chaos out in the world. The controls and jumping were a little squirrely, which I suppose is the point. I would say the jump is pretty floaty. You can move a lot in midair, which makes calibrating... Take some calibrating to figure out how to land. That took a bit. Some objects seem to have a kind of magnetism to them, others not so much. It took a little while to get the hang of pole jumping and figuring out what my distances are to jump. If you have a gun in your hand, you can't jump on poles, but you can get like a triple jump or more, depending on the gun you have, using bullets to propel you. So you hit the jump button and then pop, and that's extra jumps right there. Which is another thing to be wary of. Your gun has a lot of kick and will push you backwards because you're just a squirrel after all. You also have a limited bullet time you can use while you're firing, which was pretty cool. There was a point where I realized to find all the golden acorns, I really started to need to think more like a squirrel in terms of running up things. Like, you're really small, and I had to start thinking about looking up more. When you get to some of the acorns, you have to pay attention to the environment around you to find them. Why is the propane tank so shiny, and what will happen if I explode it? You really just have to play around with the environment and go, what will happen if I do this? The achievement list is just nutty. You get achievements for doing things like getting your picture taken, blowing things up, flying a drone, riding on a rocket fired by an enemy, robbing citizens at gunpoint. When you hold a gun up to a normal person, they throw their hands in the air and drop a whole bunch of acorns. It looks like they're shitting acorns. It's great.
Did you say shooting or shitting?
Shitting.
Okay. All right.
And these are just some ways to encourage you to try new things, find all the goofy content available in the game. My mom is, I'm visiting her now. She's not really a video game person. Maybe it was just the oxy talking. She just had her surgery. But she was really amused with all the dumb things I was doing and was asking tons of questions about what was going on. She asked if the squirrel had a name and then remembered that all squirrels are named Bob. It's a thing, don't ask. But yeah, she was really getting into it. From the main menu, there's a photo mode. There's a place to change your costumes. I have a bomb suit for my squirrel. I love the beret and eye patch set. I think my favorite was the gigantic sinister eyebrows. I learned on the home screen, actually, when you back out to the main home screen, it will actually save what your costume is and displays it. And then like your squirrel on the home screen is gigantic. And I'm watching this on like a giant TV, way bigger than what I have at home. And so there's just this like squirrel with these ridiculously gigantic eyebrows. It's fabulous. There's a multi-stage boss fight with a tank once you get access to the squirrel-sized car, and then once you beat the first boss, you get access to more areas of the game. And speaking of access, you unlock new weapons in the main play area when you find new ones in the special areas. So besides the pistol, you get an SMG, you can get grenade launchers, shotguns, bazooka, and you can pay small acorns to get them on the street. Some bad stuff. I did get pushed through a wall with the tank during the boss fight. Had to use back to checkpoint option to get out of that. It really wasn't that bad. Getting used to the jumping and button scheme took some doing. Again, the controls are a little squirrely. Your button counter, or your bullet counter, not your button counter, your bullet counter, I can read, is on the screen to the right of your squirrel. And that was a little distracting until I got used to it. So it was just like sitting there right in the middle of the screen. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, it seems like a kind of batshit crazy sandbox, good time. I know you enjoyed your goat sim, so I'm guessing you enjoyed this one. It's $20. What's your verdict on Squirrel with a Gun?
This game is silly fun and Oxymom approved. I'd say buy it.
Sounds good. Oxymom approved. There's the episode title. Next game, Slay the Princess, the Pristine Cut, developed by Black Tabby Games, published by Serenity Forge, released October 24th on Series X and S, Switch, PS5, and PC for $17.99. You're on a path in the woods. At the end of that path is a cabin, and in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. Aki, tell us.
Okay. This is a complicated one. In this, you start off as, who fucking knows? You're just some dude. Maybe a chick. I don't know. You're just somebody. Possibly. Not sure on that either. But the narrator talks to you. And so does the hero. And the contrarian. None of them have bodies. This is weird. But you have to go kill a princess who is locked up in a cabin. Why? Because if you don't, the world ends. Why? You're asking too many questions now. Please just go. Enjoy the game from this point forward. This is a visual novel, and it is twisted and weird and wrong in all the best ways possible. You are tasked with killing the princess, and you are led to a cabin. It doesn't matter what you want, you're being led there, period. You can walk any which way you want, you're gonna be there, period. So just go, I guess. And you get to decide what you do with the princess. You can try and talk with her, you can try and free her, you can try and kill her. Well, about that. Hey, you need to go kill the princess. You have to go to the cabin to kill the princess. Go kill the princess. Hey, doesn't this seem familiar? Yeah, that's the story of this game. You have basically...
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
So you're saying you can go to the castle and do all these things to the princess. Can you romance a princess?
You can attempt it.
Okay, what happens?
I'm not telling you.
The game you find out, you moron.
Dang
exactly.
It. Then again, this isn't SML After Dark, so it can't be that crazy.
It's just crazy in a different way. Yeah, exactly.
Still rated M, so...
Yeah, this is very crazy in a completely different way. There's just no nudity in this, sadly. So, yeah. So, depending on what you choose to do with the princess, the world ends. Well, it doesn't really matter what you do with the princess. The world ends. And then you are another you somewhere else, or maybe time rewind. I don't know. No one knows. That's the glory of this game. However, things are different now. Every time it rewinds or goes somewhere else or what the fuck ever, things change. You change. The princess change. The environment change. It all is the change. The change makes the game. So you go there and you can interact with the princess. She's just a normal, seemingly normal person. How you choose to interact with her, what questions you ask her, what things you choose to do to her, how many questions you asked, all these things are taken in consideration when you go to your next playthrough. And those determine what changes happen in the world. For instance, if you try not to enter the cabin, the world ends eventually. And then you're forced to go into the cabin. But now the cabin doesn't look like a cabin. It looks like a bunch of different cabins that have been pieced together. So there might be like, oh, this was a stone cabin, but no, this was a wood cabin. And so you see bits of cobblestone, sometimes cobblestone floor, bits of cobblestone wall, but then it just leads into wood instead and stuff like that. If you try to harm the princess physically through brute strength, well, the next time you encounter the princess, maybe she's a hulking beast that can crush your skull. So, maybe brute strength ain't gonna work no more. That'll teach you. And that's kind of the name of the game, is going through this numerous times, evolving the world. And after a period of time, it does a complete fresh reset. So it's not like you just keep doing this forever. You get a whole bunch of times that you play through, and then it completely resets. But each and every time changes everything that happens later on. So it's not just the prior one, because you do this multiple times, not just twice. All of them impact what happens at the end. And you can change the princess from a normal person to a ghost, to a werewolf, a vampire, some eldritch horror. Like, there's all sorts of things that happen. And that's kind of the joy of this game, is going in, fucking about, and seeing what happens due to that. And then doing it again and again until the game's over and you restart completely fresh. So
it's a unique experience?
Yes. God damn it. I was trying to avoid that word.
I know, but we made it happen.
Yeah.
Gotta point out, if people are looking this one up on the store page, don't read the whole thing. Like, the store page even warns you, but what's in the Pristine cut, are you sure you want to find out? If you do, you'll likely discover things that are best left experienced directly. Seriously, turn back. So don't read the whole store page if this game interests you.
Now I kind of want to read the full store page.
Well, if it interests people, it's $17.99. Aki, what are your thoughts on this game?
100%. I absolutely adore this game. I wanted to review this back when it came out on PC a year or two ago now, I think. And sadly, I wasn't able to at the time. But so yeah, I'm totally for this. It is going to take you a long fucking time to do, though. Just be warned, because to get all the different achievements, you have to play through this a whole bunch of times to see different aspects of the game, and sometimes that requires completely different such a choices going through. So you're gonna be going through the full loop numerous times until you get a fresh restart, and you're gonna have to do that a bunch, so many times. And the reason why this is the Pristine cut is because they added more of that stuff into the game. So even more stuff to go do. Have fun, folks. It's great. I think it's really funny.
Cool. All right, next up is Last Time I Saw You, developed by Maboroshi Artworks, published by Chorus Worldwide, released October 10th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $16.99. First loves, family issues, yokai. The Last Time I Saw You is a coming-of-age adventure set in 1980s Japan. Explore a haunted forest, hiding a terrible secret, and interact with a vast cast of friendly and deceitful characters in this beautifully hand-drawn story with some light action elements. Bri, tell us about your time with Last Time I Saw You.
So this is a 2D side-scrolling adventure set in 80s Japan. There's a lot of the game that is kind of coming of age and a little slice of life as well. We have quests like getting carrots from the market that we have to do for Mom. We get an offering for the family shrine. You just save at all the shrines in the game, which is really nice, and they're generously available. It's really lovely to walk through the town every day and see the changes around town with the people who live there. It's full of character and charm. There are local town gossips. There's a feud going on between the neighboring butcher and the fishmonger. And of course, there's your two best friends that you talk to about what's going on in your life, that you talk to every day. And I can't forget also there's a dog you can pet, so that's good.
Yay!
The game has no voice acting, so it's a lot of reading in little text bubbles, but I really wanted to stop and talk to everybody. The dialogue was really good, and all the characters were interesting. They seem to have a lot of nuance in their conversations with our character, Ayumi, especially the characters that are his close friends and family. But let's get to the story. Ayumi is having strange recurring dreams about a pale-skinned girl who keeps running away, but obviously is trying to communicate with him. The atmospheric music in the dream world is fabulous. The town is on the eve of a typhoon, and everyone is scared. When the typhoon makes landfall, the kids are stuck in the school, and Ayumi, being very not rebellious, but just he kind of beats to his own drum. He hears the dream girl, and he goes off in search of her voice instead of sticking with the students in the shelter. So that spells trouble. And suddenly the weather turns really bad, and the windows shatter, and these strange malevolent spirits are flying around Ayumi. He arms himself with a baseball bat, and he fights his way back to the gym to meet up with his fellow students, but he gets caught in the storm instead, and is surrounded by more and more of these spirits, more than he can handle. And just when all looks lost, the dream girl shows up and saves him somehow, and he survives the storm outside. His next dream leads him to the mysterious, spooky forest that no one in town will go into, that he once got lost in as a child. And he feels like really drawn to the place when he wakes, and he makes his way in to meet the yokai of the forest who tell him his dream girl is there. But in order to find her, we have to do some errands, and this begins the part of the game where we go back and forth between the spirit world and the human world. There are kappa and other yokai who dwell in the forest, and they need our help. We can feed them treats, we can bring them origami paper and other trinkets to gain their favor. It's all part of the story. And then, of course, there's the people in town who, still have things for you to do. You have to, go put the origami around town for one yokai, and then you find out that they were once maybe human and belonged to the town, and they still have family there. So there's just all kinds of stuff going on there. But we finally meet the dream girl, and she's floating. Not as much as the butterflies in Ayumi's stomach, though. And we learn that the rain goddess everyone worships in town was displeased with the humans and cursed them before she left, hundreds of years ago. So that typhoon maybe was not an accident, was not just nature, but was maybe something else. And our dream girl, let's call her Ami for short, wants to help, but she needs the only human she knows, our little Ayumi, to help fix things. The typhoon was maybe the first of things to come from this curse, and it'll only get much worse if we don't do something quick. So we need to find all the shrines in the forest to do a ritual, and Ami is going to show us the way. With her help, we get other abilities like platforming dash. She can lift you up on certain platforms and shoot you straight up into the sky. So it's a fun, different little way to platform through some of the environment. There are some light puzzles, like at the underground shrine. I had to play a bell melody by ear. There's a stealth section. Lots of just little different things to do in the environment. There's some other fun things nestled in the game, like a retro arcade game with ninjas and dragons. That was fun to play. You can play it whenever your parents aren't on the TV. Actually, I came downstairs at one day in the game, and your mom is playing it, and you're like, Mom, why are you playing my video game? She's like, it's a family investment, son. It's a family investment. So Mom was even into the video game, which was really cool. But the game really allows you to explore and opens deeper the more you get into it with platforming elements alongside the puzzles. The art and animations are beautiful. My mom also thought that the game was really pretty, so that's high praise from Mom.
Oxymom approved.
Oxymom approved. And the soundtrack and the sound design are really well done. I love the audio and the dream sequences. There are weather effects for the rain on certain days. It drips on the screen, so it's almost like we're watching the game through a window, which is kind of neat. But it's a charming game with a sweet narrative. I enjoy the setup where you have a daily routine and expanding conversations between the characters that I wanted to talk to every day. I really like the exploration aspects in the forest. It's a delightful game.
Cool. It's $16.99. What are your thoughts on Last Time I Saw You?
That is a fabulous price, and I'd say buy it.
Sounds good. All right, moving on. Red Panda is Hungry, developed and published by Synergy Circle Games. Released October 16th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $4.99, Windows Store for $4.99. Follow the journey of a gluttonous red panda that is willing to risk everything if it means getting more food. Walk, jump, and slide through a bamboo forest full of traps and dangers until you reach your legendary all-you-can-eat buffet. Jacob, what is Red Panda is Hungry?
So Red Panda is Hungry is just a simple platformer where you're trying to guide this red panda through all these different levels. And it's a lot of avoiding traps and trying to collect as much of it as you can. Like, it's not exactly the most, how would you put it? I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's a fairly basic platformer. It was challenging at some points. I will give it that. Whether it was me or whether it was my level of playing ability or whether it was like level design, I'm not totally sure. But some of those levels, I'm not going to lie, felt a little taxing on me. But thankfully, the achievements come rolling in pretty quick. And there are 50 levels, so if you're enjoying it, there's plenty to do, especially for $5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a simple $5 game. It's cute.
That went about a minute long. We need more.
I don't know what else to tell you about it.
Use your words, yo.
The devs are sitting there listening like, what the fuck else could he say, really?
I
mean, the visuals are cute.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think it gets frustrating kind of quick.
Okay, so it's not just me.
No, it's these kind of games. They're just, I don't know.
Some of the areas where the food was located, those were a pain in the butt to try to get. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's a $5 game, man. Do you want the achievements or do you want the
checkpoints? Throw us extra lives or let us. I just want to beat this and move on with my life.
You can just hop into the menu and just start up on random levels.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It wasn't it's definitely not the worst game I've ever played, but it's not it's not going to set the world on fire.
Yeah. Well, it's $5. Give us your verdict.
If you've got $5 to burn, there are some better games out there, but you could do worse. It's sure, why not?
All right, moving on. Next game is Say Cheese, developed and published by Aphil Games, released October 23rd on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, PC for $4.99. Welcome to the whimsical world of Say Cheese, in a land filled with traps, blocks, and obstacles. Only the sharpest minds will guide our hungry hero to the ultimate prize, a mouth-watering piece of cheese. Join the adventure across 40 handcrafted levels packed with surprises, trophies, and puzzles that will test your wits and patience. Can you help the mouse overcome each challenge? Bri, tell us about Say Cheese.
So there are 40 levels of cheesy puzzles to enjoy. You are a mouse trying to get the cheese. It starts out easy, you have a limited number of moves you can make, or you die. And while a dead mouse is cutesy, and it's kind of startling the first time it happens. I have to admit that while it was late and I was tired, it took me a little too long to figure out how to get through level 5, because I could not see the difference in the color of rock to know that I could move through it as part of the puzzle.
Yo, even then, that is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Yeah, level 5, it's just, even if you can see it, like, it's still, it took me way too dang long to figure out that.
Yeah, that was like something I could move through, that it was a different thing. But after I understood that I needed, to do that to proceed, I was able to get through a few more levels without, too much effort. But I mentioned this to illustrate that the game really doesn't tell you what to do. I happen to have played a game like this before and eventually sussed it out. There are barrels to move and other obstacles to avoid as you get further into the levels. Sometimes you can move through objects based on their color. Other times you have to move around, like cracks in the floor you have to move around. You also have you have movement points. And so part of the puzzle is that you maybe come in and you can only move 20 spaces and then you die. There's different amounts of movement you get at the beginning of each level. There's also sword points, and you have to slash slimes with your sword. So if you run into a slime and you're out of sword points, you also die. And then you have health points that you lose if you walk over thorns. So at a certain point you have just like one thing to deal with, and then you have a different thing to deal with, and then you have a different thing to deal with, and then you start having to deal with combinations of things. So it gets more complicated that way as well, or complex that way. And there was a series of levels where you had to get keys and unlock locks. So yeah, it gets more difficult as you go along. I found myself scratching my head a lot, trying to figure it out, like way more than I was expecting. The music was cute.
I'll be honest, this sounds like a really frustrating game.
It wasn't horrifying.
I'm kind of burnt out on Sokoban to begin with, and it seems like this
isn't Sokoban. Like, there's more to it than that. There's I can't remember the name of the game that it's kind of similar to, Slime something. But yeah, I mean, if I hadn't known this style of game, I think I would have been a little lost. More so than I already was.
And it ramps up the difficulty so quick.
It does.
That it's just, I can see a lot of people like rage quitting real fast.
Yeah. Funny story though, real life story, if you will. Mice don't actually like cheese that much. They'll eat it. We're led to believe that mice eat cheese from popular media, cartoons, and that sort of thing. And the myth may have come out of medieval origins, because people left their cheese out and they would find it nibbled by mice, but they actually don't prefer cheese. That's just a myth.
Yeah, it makes their heart rate go up. They actually prefer peanut butter if you're gonna set traps.
Yeah, but yeah, so I feel like it was one of those games where the difficulty ramped up faster than it should have, and the lack of instruction or obvious clues with new mechanics was a little frustrating. If I hadn't already played a game like this, I might have been completely lost.
Well, it's $5. What do you think?
I could give it a try it.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do a try it as well on it. Just know it like you're going to be playing this for a while, and not necessarily out of joy.
Yeah.
All right, just got to get Gouda.
Oh, God. I quit this show. I
hate my life.
It has a stack for Xbox players. The console version's $5. The PC version has an achievement stack for $5. Thoughts on that? People get one, get both.
I mean, if you like achievements, I think there already is a guide out for the game, so you can just you can try it out and see if you like it, and if not, you can just go through with a guide and get your easy achievements. It's a good price for that.
Cool. Any other thoughts?
Cheese.
All right, next game to talk about is Ricky Recharge, developed by Team Recharge, published by Silesia Games, released September 25th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $4.99. Ricky wakes up all alone on a robot apocalypse. Little did they know this was exactly what he'd been waiting for. Jacob, what's Ricky Recharge?
So Ricky Recharge is a fairly in theory, it's simple. You're pretty much just running back and forth between two areas, blasting robots, and occasionally you get to upgrade your stuff depending on how much coinage you have. And it could be like you upgrade some of your powers, or you can upgrade your health bar, that kind of stuff. And as you're running back and forth, so you have to run through your house, one end of the house to the other, and you just have to constantly like recharge your gun. And the game makes things more difficult because you have to change the polarity of your gun. So if you're blasting blue robots, you need to be shooting like a blue laser at them. If you're blasting red robots, you have to do a red laser. And then if you have a yellow one, you really just have to blast away until as long as you can. Like there's no yellow polarity to change. There isn't one, right? Okay, no. Okay. Like, I mean, we've had games
shoot the shit out of.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say because we've had games before where it's like I've discovered features during the review that you're like, I hate you, or I'm just like, wow, that would have made the game much simpler for me. And so, yeah, you're just like running back and forth, and you get so many lives. But occasionally you can pick up health packs or stuff that pretty much like powers. Like you can supercharge your gun and it'll just blast like infinite ammo and destroy everything in its path for a bit. You can also get this thing that acts kind of like an EMP and just destroys everything within a certain radius. And yeah, it's a simple game. Theoretically, but it's pretty challenging. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a good time waster.
I thought it was kind of shallow. I don't know. I put some time into it, and I don't really like. I didn't come away feeling like I accomplished anything.
No, I mean, because you just kill robots till you die.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's an end game to this game, other than Ricky eventually dies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but then again, he got his robot apocalypse that he wanted.
Yeah. I mean, careful what you wish for. You might just get it, right?
I suppose.
Well, this is $5. Should people wish for this one?
It's a good time waster. It's definitely not the worst $5 one, $5 game that I've played. Like at worst, it's a fuck it, why not?
Cool. All right.
I would also like to note, though, as of last night, I have higher scores than both Joe and Carnage in this game.
Nice. GG.
I'm like 75th on the world leaderboards for the game. So nice. Like, yes.
All right. Well, on the heels of a flip it, why not? We're going to Kids Corner. You ready?
I guess.
George, take it away.
Kids Corner with Jacob and friends.
All right, first up in Kids Corner is Hot Wheels Monster Truck Stunt Mayhem, developed by 3D Clouds, published by GameMill Entertainment, released October 18th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, PC for $39.99. Hot Wheels monster trucks are ready to catch some wild air and perform insane stunts while smashing and bashing through fantastical arenas in a new game that brings your favorite monster trucks to your fingertips. Jacob, what is Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Stunt Mayhem?
So, Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Stunt Mayhem, believe it or not, is a game with monster trucks.
What?
And do you know what you do in this game?
No.
A lot of stunts.
What?
In fact, some even cause mayhem. Would you believe that? And the wheels are hot. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you're stretching it now.
Yeah. So, in this game, you are obviously driving a monster truck, and the game has a ton of different monster trucks that you can play as. I don't think it actually matters which one you choose for your little like career mode, because the game doesn't actually like give you any stats on any of them. So I think it's all skins. So really, it's at this point, it's just pick which one you want to play as, which is great, because if you don't want to like spend all the time trying to figure out who's the best, I mean, obviously the answer is Bigfoot. You know, any 80s kid knows that. So, and obviously the 80s kids are who this game is targeted towards. No, not really.
Yeah.
No. Anywho,
I'll give Gravedigger a shout too.
That's fair. And Gravedigger is in this game. So
sweet.
But I was more excited about Bigfoot, because in all the other monster truck games that like we've reviewed, I've never seen Bigfoot in there, and so I was just like, "Oh, heck yeah, man!" Like for us '80s kids, Bigfoot was everywhere. Anywho, so yeah, so you could either do career. There is couch co-op multiplayer, so if you want to like do stunts against a friend, you can. But yeah, it's just you are trying to pull off like the wildest stunts that you possibly can in various settings, whether it's like an arena, whether it's like out in the middle of like some sort of field, construction site kind of stuff. It's not particularly varied, which is something that a lot of monster truck games, like, I'm not gonna lie, like it struggles with, but at the same time, there's only so many like different arena types that those kind of things work in. So it's not like, I mean, I'd love to see something in like outer space.
Yeah.
Or something.
Something in a lot of monster truck games struggle with is controls. How does this one, like, does it control well? Is it playable?
Controls beautifully. It controls beautifully. And you know why? Because in most of the monster truck games that we've actually all of the monster truck games that we've had to review on this show, they use this weird steering method, and essentially like you'll use like the front or the left joystick to control the front wheels, and then the right joystick to control the back wheels. And it can be real difficult, like trying to manage to do pretty much anything, whether it's in a race or do stunts. Hot Wheels just takes it, or this Hot Wheels game just takes it, and they're just like, all right, yeah, it's a normal driving game. Any arcade, like, do you know how to play literally any arcade racing game? Cool, then you know how to play this game. And so the right joystick...
More racing games need to... or at least more monster truck games need to follow that creed and just be easier to control. That's what holds me back from playing a lot of monster truck games. It's how awkward the dual steering it can be.
Yeah, and it's just, and this one, so what happens is that you use left stick for turning and all that kind of stuff, and use right stick to do tricks while you're in the air. Or like up against something. And so it becomes real easy to pull off crazy stunts. And as long as like you've given yourself like enough space to make like the jump or go up a ramp, all that kind of stuff, you're pretty golden. And you can pull off like a lot of wild stuff. And so what ends up happening is that during all these little events, you have to like clear X amount of points by wrecking so many things or pulling off like all sorts of tricks to build up like a combo meter. But then there's also like stuff randomly spread throughout the arena that you'll have to destroy, like hot dog carts or or like random cars and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. Like there's more to it than I was expecting for this game. And if you've been burned by monster truck games before, like this one is surprisingly like easy to pick up, easy to play, and it's a lot of fun. I honestly only have like 2 gripes with it, like, you know, like the lack of variety with the arenas, which I'd already discussed, but at the same time, that's something that pretty much all monster truck games have. Yeah. But my other issue is that the game, because it wants to be so kid friendly, so like, let's say that like you tip over on your side. Okay. In most monster truck games, you can usually like just pull like a trick. I forget what exactly it's called, but essentially you're just spinning on your wheels on their sides. And then like you use that momentum to lift your truck back up. This game is very unforgiving if you get into that position. And because, again, it's kid friendly and they want the kids to like not get stuck and stuff like that, it'll just automatically reset you. But when it resets you, it also messes up your combos. And so it ruins like whatever combo you had. And it's just a little too quick on that. And there were plenty of times where I was just like, I could have gotten myself out of that situation real quick if this game had just given me like 4 more seconds. And so it can get kind of frustrating with that, but otherwise, it's a blast. Like, there's a lot to like with this game.
Apex Assassin saying, no, they need to troll the kids. Well, this one clocks in at $40. There is a deluxe edition for $50. Comes with some bonus stuff. What are your thoughts?
I'd say definitely pick it up. Like, this is the monster truck game to play if you actually want to have fun. If you're going for realism, this ain't it. But if you're looking for fun, this is.
Cool. All right, well, we got one final game to talk about tonight. That is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. Developed by a heart full of games, published by Outright Games. We are Outright ambassadors. Released October 18th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, PC for $39.99. Deluxe edition with the season passes available for $49.99. Pass itself available for $14.99. Join the legendary Turtle Brothers straight from the sewer and slide into this new adventure of shell-shocking proportions. With the help of April's insightful reports from the streets and Splinter's sage guidance, gear up to fight crime and unravel an epic saga of justice and chaos. Jacob, what is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed?
So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed is, it's more or less a direct sequel to the the movie that came out last year. Did you see it?
No, I did not.
Oh man, you're missing out. It's honestly the best.
I heard it was really good. I've seen so few movies lately. I need to fix that.
That's fair. The only reason why I saw it is because I've got kids.
Yeah.
But
I have
yeah,
cats.
like not quite the same.
Close.
I mean, you have more hairball problems than I do. But
I'm talking about my back.
I digress. Anywho, so in this Ninja Turtles game, it's post the events of the previous movie, which, what was it called? Mutant Mayhem, I think.
So.
All right. Anywho, so Superfly is dead. However, the toxic waste is still at the bottom of the Hudson, and so all of these mutants are now showing up in New York City, and the populace of New York City is like, what the heck are we supposed to do with all these guys? And meanwhile, the mutants are trying to be like, hey, we're just trying to exist. Like, we are not looking to cause any trouble. We just want to go about our lives and be productive members of society. And you start having 2 groups of mutants, almost like almost kind of like an X-Men kind of thing, where you have ones that like want to go after the humans and are just like, leave us alone, like kind of like a Magneto group. And then you also have like the ones who are still trying to show peace and love, like kind of like a Xavier's school kind of thing. And pretty much it's just you have to go in and you have to keep the peace and stop everything from getting worse. And so there's all these different missions that you have to do all over New York City, and you have a certain amount of time to complete them. Like, so some side quests you're just not going to get around to doing because like the time on them expired. Kind of reminds me of shoot, I forget what the mode was called in Injustice 2. But like, do you recall like how like you would have like X amount of time to do missions and then like the multiverse would fade away or whatever? No,
not really.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Been a while since I've played that.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's kind of like it's similar to that, but also with various mutants as you fight through the city, you start having like relationships with them, friendships. Like that kind of relationships, not romantic ones. So I'm sorry for all you folks who wanted to like ship like, you know, Michelangelo and, you know, Mondo Gecko together. That's not happening.
Why did we both think of Mondo Gecko there?
I mean, how could you not? Those sweet, sweet, dreamy eyes of his. One in one direction, one in the other. Anywho, you can have relationships with them, and like as you progress, like the better your relationship is, like the more that you're able to help out, and do all sorts of stuff like leather. What is it? Leather back or leather neck? That's another one that shows up. And yeah, and so it's like you have to do like a lot of juggling, and as you go through all these areas, you have to collect like these tapes which will show you how to do new moves. There's graffiti that you can do, and it's just like there's a lot going on in this game, more than I was expecting from an outright title, to be honest. But yeah, it plays like an old school beat 'em up game, and like they captured the look of that movie, like, and it is just like fantastic. Like it's just a lot of fun beating the snot out of all these mutants, you know, and then just going off to the next mission, and then just going through the whole storyline. There is a co-op mode that is available to play. However, it's a little weird because it pretty much is just like the levels themselves are the co-op thing. However, there is stuff like there's stuff to do in between the missions, and so like, and some of it's just like you walking around like the sewer lair, and so like it's real easy for like the second person to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna hold a controller for a bit. This is exciting. You know,
co-op is best during the actual missions. Then
it's the only time it's there, and so like it's almost like a single player game where like your buddy just jumps in whenever the game decides to let you jump in, which can be a little frustrating. Like my wife was like, how many more cutscenes do I have to sit through? I don't know, babe. Like, I'm just trying to get us to the next mission. I'm sorry. And the only other thing I thought was a little frustrating is that, like, unless you are able to unless you're able to return to a certain area through a later mission, there are sometimes like those collectibles, if you miss them on that first level, like you're just not going to see it again for the rest of the game.
Oh no.
There is no chapter select or anything like that, or mission select. And so what you end up having to do is that after you've beaten the game, there's a new game plus mode. And thankfully you just have to make a mental note of like, oh yeah, okay, I have to go grab this here. So on and so forth. And so like, I mean, there's some frustrating parts, but it's also not like we experienced this stuff with plenty of other games. I guess I'm just a little more surprised that it showed up like in a kid's game. like that. But yeah, like this is a lot of fun. And the only other thing I was going to talk about that's odd about the co-op mode, the camera angles can be real wonky if you're playing in co-op mode, and it's real easy for one of the other players to disappear off the screen, and the game will reset you. So like, it never penalizes you. So I guess that the game makers realized that this was going to be a problem, but it can be frustrating because the camera doesn't really move particularly well. So other than that, like, honestly, like, the combat's great. The game looks gorgeous. Like, this is one that Outright and the devs should really be proud of. Like, honestly, this is easily like in like top 5, if not their best game that they've ever released.
Very cool. Well, let's talk price on it. There is the game.
Yes.
Let me finish. There's the game for.
Yes. Buy it. Buy it.
The game's $39.99. There's a season pass available. The season pass by itself is available for $14.99. It includes 4 packs, which are a 1987 animated series skin pack, 1984 comic book pack, a Metalheads pack, and a Fresh Meat mission pack. The content will be sold separately. The skins right now are $3.49. You could get the deluxe edition that has the season pass for $49.99. What are your thoughts on everything?
Just get the season pass. Get the deluxe edition is what I mean. Like, just go for the whole thing. This game's totally worth it. There's a lot of fun to be had in it. And yeah, like, the fact that they're including all these different skins for the turtles and extra missions, like, it's nice to see some of this kind of DLC being offered in here. I mean, would it have been cool for like the skins to just be things you can unlock? Sure. But you know, I'm fine with this one. Like, as a $60 game, like, for the deluxe edition, yeah, totally. This is totally worth it.
It's $50 for the deluxe.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. Good stuff, huh?
Yeah. Like, it's definitely worth $50.
Cool. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. We made it through. We're going to pretend everyone else is here. Hooray.
No, we made it through another one.
Perfect Nugan.
Rocky smells.
Music this episode, I am going to play some Wubby Ninja Turtles from our friend A Rival.
Ooh.
It is fun stuff. It's kind of old because I'm old. But
you are old.
It's Wubby. Of course it's older. You know, dubstep hasn't been popular in how long?
Dubstep was popular?
Once upon a dream, yes.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, old man Joe. You go to bed now and you go watch some Matlock.
Oh, well, you stop it. You have any final words to end the show?
No, not really. What? Like, was I supposed to come up with something?
I don't know. Like, it's what we do at the end of the show.
I mean, I know, but like, I hadn't really planned anything. I don't know, man. I love you all. I look forward to, you know, to being back here when episode 2000 happens. You know, so Lord willing.
I'm trying to find a good sound clip to play. It's clean.
That's
and
age appropriate. Yeah, have fun with that.
The best one I have is
talking about Riz and Skibbity Toilet and all that.
There we go.
You will learn the real truth about how 4 ordinary household pets became wisecracking amphibians. Pizza-loving amphibians. Amphibians. Amphibians.